Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. So this week we're going to be talking about some of the practical steps that I advise you to take if you have decided to go off steroids, to stop using them altogether, to wean yourself off them and go the more natural route in terms of managing your eczema. This is going to be a follow-on from a video that I made a few weeks ago where I talked about the potential dangers of using steroids for a long period of time. So if you want to go watch that video first, and I talk about some of my reasons and my point of view for why I personally chose to stop using steroids and use diet and lifestyle to manage my skin. So if you want to watch that, I will link that up here. This video is by no means saying that you should or you have to go off steroids, not at all. It's just for people who have decided and made that personal and informed choice for themselves. So this is just going to be some guidance and some advice for going through that process. So my first tip for you is to prepare yourself mentally. Everyone is going to react differently from coming off steroids depending on how often you use them, the strength at which you use them, and for how long you use them. But more often than not, you will go through some form of what is called TSW, which is topical steroid withdrawal. Me personally, mine was quite mild, but I think I did get quite a lot of eczema that came out, so it was difficult to tell what was eczema and what was TSW. Unfortunately, some people will go through the very, very severe TSW, where your whole body will go red, you'll find it difficult to sleep, your moods will be all over the place. There's no way to tell where on that scale you are going to be. So it's really important that you go into this with a really strong and positive frame of mind. And the way that I did this is that I just told myself that it is a temporary pain for a lifetime gain. When you come out of this, you will be so much healthier, you will be happier, you will be free from your skin condition, and you will have gained a type of mental resilience that I think not a lot of people have. So really important to look at the positives right from day one, because you are going to get there. So my second one is a really important tip, and that is to get a support network. It doesn't even really matter where you find that, whether it's with your family, your friends, a partner, an online community of strangers. It doesn't matter, just make sure that you have people who are going to be there for you when times get tough. So this is really important for three different reasons. Firstly, you need to have people around you who understand what you are going through, because there are going to be days when you're just not really feeling yourself, and you need to have people there who are understanding and are going to help you there from an emotional perspective. The second thing is that people heal quicker and better when they have emotional connection and they have support from somewhere. For you and your healing process, it is going to be much better, it's going to be much more positive if you have somebody you can lean on when those days get really tough. The third thing that I think is really important is that with eczema, with skin disorders, there is often a lot of shame involved. And I think being really open and being able to talk about it openly with at least someone or a handful of people is going to help you to lift some of that shame, which can sometimes be associated with having a skin problem like this. So there are emotional reasons, practical reasons, and also cathartic reasons to having a support network. I have a dedicated video on this that I made actually a while ago, so I will link that up here, and that is giving you some practical advice about how to find a good, solid support network that is going to build you up and not bring you down when times get tough. So my third tip is to expect and prepare for the healing crisis. If you don't know what the healing crisis is, it is right at the beginning of your journey when you have switched your diet, you feel like your lifestyle is much healthier and much better, and for some reason your skin gets so much worse before it starts getting better. Do not panic, it's all part of the process, and just stick to what you're doing, because you are going to come out the worst of it in a few weeks' time. So my next tip is to clear your schedule. So I obviously don't mean stop yourself from going to see your friends and family and doing social things that you want to do, but the most likely scenario is you are not going to be feeling particularly sociable, especially at the beginning. So you don't want to have added stress of having social commitments and things that you need to go to if you just really, really don't feel up to it. So my advice is to take things day by day. If you're feeling up for going to see your friends and doing something sociable, then absolutely go do that, but commitments can be a little bit stressful, and at this time you just really want to be freeing yourself from any kind of commitments and just making a way for healing, at least at the beginning. So you also want to be thinking about timing. Is it going to be better to do this during the summer or in the winter, or do you have school or college or university starting at a particular time of year? Do you have work commitments around a particular time? Just be a bit smart about how you're going to plan this into your life, because there are going to be things that you can't control. So it's just really important to make a bit of a plan around this. And that leads me on to my next tip, and that is to prepare yourself for normal life as much as possible. What I mean by this is that most people either work or are school or university students. You can't obviously stop doing these things. If you can, that's very lucky. But for me personally, I was a university student, and there were practical as well as kind of mental things that I had to do in order to make living normal life as least difficult as possible. So some examples would be telling your manager or your team leader at work. Luckily, because of last year, working from home is an option for more people, so that could be something that you could make the most of. Alternatively, if you are a student, either at school or at university, maybe telling a mentor or a tutor or a teacher, just so somebody is aware of what is going on. Another thing I should mention is that you will 100% come across people who feel the need to comment on what your skin looks like, whether that's at school, whether that is at work, whether that is just people on the street. You'll be surprised how many people just blurt things out. Just expect that that is going to happen. Don't let it get to you, and have an answer prepared if it helps. So for example, if anyone would ever comment on my skin, they would say something like, your skin looks really bad today, or what's happened to your skin, something like that. I would just say, yeah, I have really bad eczema at the moment. There's really not much more that someone can respond to that. Also, try not to shy away from social interactions. I know that is so much easier said than done, but most people, once they've had an explanation, they move on quite quickly, and you will realize that people still want to talk to you, people still want to hang out with you, and people don't care that much about your appearance. Like, you care a lot more about your appearance than other people do, I can guarantee. So my next tip is a little bit contradictory and probably goes against everything I've been saying up until now, which is to see a professional. Now, this is going to be a bit challenging because most doctors are going to tell you that you need to go back onto steroids in order to clear your skin up. But I do know that there is a small subsegment of doctors who will be out there, and they will be able to help you to go through the weaning off process. So if you can find a doctor who is going to support you and is going to help you through it, and more importantly is going to be aware of your medical condition as you go through it. A lot of other people do choose to go see things like naturopaths, homeopaths, TCM practitioners, Ayurvedic practitioners. Personally, as a scientist, I don't really subscribe to any of those, and I do prefer to go the kind of more medical, professional, evidence-based route. But I know a lot of people have very good results with seeing various different practitioners, and again, if it is going to provide you with the emotional, practical guidance, if they are going to help you with a plan, somebody again who is going to be there, who is going to keep an eye on your condition as you're going through it, I think that that is going to be really good. But this is going to lead me on to my next tip, which is to be very, very careful with who you listen to when you are going through this. Because as somebody who has chosen to do something different than the conventional medical route, you are going to be a prime target for all the quacks and all the people who are out there and just want to make money by latching onto people who are unwell and desperate to get better. I'm not going to mention any names because I do want to make a dedicated video about this because I have so much to say on this topic, but there are some pretty big names out there who are selling books, bad advice at best, dangerous advice at worst. You need to keep your head on you at this time because a lot of it is just made up stuff. They've just made it up. So, like I said, be really particular and really picky about who you are listening to at this time. Like I said, I can go on a rant about this, but we're going to leave that for another video. So my next tip is to prepare your home. And what I mean by this is everything from the food in your fridge, in your food cupboard, to the clothes you're wearing, to the products you have on hand. Just make sure that you have all the things that you like and everything that you need in order to make this process a little bit smoother. Now, in terms of choosing a diet and stocking your fridge with those types of foods, I think this can be a really fun opportunity to learn a lot more about nutrition, as well as learning lots of new recipes. There's so much out there now, both on the internet, Instagram, anywhere that you can find to kind of get yourself a little bit excited, not just about the food, but your new healthy lifestyle. My next tip is to do something that is going to occupy your mind in a positive way as you are going through this, because chances are you're probably going to be spending quite a lot of time at home alone, or at least on some days. And on those days, it is good to have a little bit of a project or a little bit of a hobby on hand that you can do to kind of take your mind off things, because some days it is going to be a little bit difficult. So some examples of things that you could do: you could take up painting, you could learn a new skill, you could put together a really long reading list and work your way through that. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's enjoyable and it's something that you can turn to on those days when you're going to be kind of home alone and wanting to take your mind off things. My last tip, which is tip number 10, is something that I wish I had done, which is to start making observations from day one. Whether that is in a journal, whether that is through photos, just jotting things down as the days go by. And the reason I say this is because at the beginning, your flare-ups are going to be all over the place. There's not going to be any rhyme or reason. But as time goes on, you are going to start noticing patterns of the things that you're doing or the things that you're eating and how they are affecting your skin. So if this is your first video that you're watching of mine, then I actually went through this eczema healing process twice. And I only started taking observations the second time round. And let me tell you, that healing process was a lot quicker than my first one. Obviously, I had a lot of learnings and I knew a lot from the first time that I'd been through it. But the second time round, I think the reason it went so quickly is because I very quickly spotted what the things I was doing and what things I was eating and how that would make my skin either better, worse, or the same. And obviously that means that you can adapt and you can react a lot quicker to the things in your diet, in your lifestyle. And hopefully what that means for you as well, it means that you will be able to see how the things that you're doing and the things that you are eating are affecting you in the inside, because it will show on the outside, i.e. your skin. You are gonna learn so much about you and your body. It is going to be amazing at the end of it, and like I said, it's going to be one of the big benefits of going through this at the end. So that was it for my video today. Did I miss anything? If you think I did, please do leave a comment down below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from me about skin, hair and health, then don't forget to click the little subscribe button, and I'll see you again very soon for another video. Bye!